Hey everybody, welcome to Mainely Movies. The official teaser trailer for the upcoming animated Scooby-Doo movie, Scoob, was just released today, and I've gotta admit, I'm pretty curious. I've been a big fan of Scooby-Doo since I was a little kid. Where Are You, Scooby-Doo? The now confusingly named new Scooby-Doo movies from the 70s, A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, the animated movies, the live-action movies, I watched them all. So the prospect of a new theatrically released Scooby-Doo mystery is pretty intriguing to me. Let's check it out.
Oh, it's about to start. You ready?
Ready.
Popcorn?
Butter.
Nachos?
Cheese.
Root beer with red licorice straw?
Right here. Maybe it's time we made our new movie.
Good idea, Scoob. But first we need a trailer. Oh, can you do the trailer guy voice?
Well, let me give it a shot. In a world destroyed by evil, discover the epic origin story of the greatest team of heroes in the history of mystery. Not bad.
Nailed it!
So an origin story.
Oh,
Hey!
ah,
This mangy stray's coming with me.
He's not a stray.
Okay, then. What's his name?
His name's Scooby.
Middle name?
Doobie?
Last name?
Do.
You said that we would always be. Without you, I feel lost at sea.
I love it.
Through the darkness,
I'll never take it off.
like the wind, we be riding.
Aw.
Maybe don't do that again.
I'm Fred. This is Velma.
Hi.
And that's Daphne.
Hey, I'm Shaggy, and this is Scooby-Doo.
Nice to meet you.
Trick or treat.
Aliens?
Whoa. Shaggy and Scooby were taken?
Do you realize where we are?
No?
Look around, man. The clean, modern aesthetic, the cool blue color palette. We're in
IKEA.
the Falcon Fury. Did you say IKEA?
Nope. I said Falcon Fury, just like you.
Maybe this can lead us to Scooby and Shaggy. Trace amounts of mustache oil, 12-year-old scotch.
Ugh. Is the bad guy my dad?
So that actually looks really good. I like the approach that they're taking with that sort of combination of making this an origin story, but also having sort of an adult or teenage version mystery of the fully fledged Mystery Inc. gang. I really I like that meeting between Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. Obviously reminds me of A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, since that was them as kids. But I've always liked that relationship between Scooby and Shaggy, and then seeing them meet the rest of the gang, I think was pretty cool. Especially very fitting that it's on Halloween. So it seems like this house that they approach, they're going to maybe have their first mystery that they need to solve. Then maybe they're going to then found the Mystery Incorporated after that. That when they approach that house, when the bats fly, that's just like the very opening, the intro to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, right? The original TV show. So I like that little reference there. Even the costumes, I like how the costumes are kind of representations of their personalities, right? Fred's like a knight in shining armor. Velma is like Ruth Bader Ginsburg or some sort of Supreme Court justice, and Daphne's Wonder Woman. So that was pretty cool, a nice little touch there. But this obviously isn't only an origin story, which I think is a good approach. And so there's this actual new mystery, this new case that they're going to be on, or an abduction, as it seems, with Scooby and Shaggy being taken up by aliens. So it'll be interesting to see if this ends up being one of those situations where the thing that they're dealing with is actually something supernatural, or if it's going to be, a very elaborate ruse, and there's going to be the whole unmasking and, oh, you meddling kids kind of ending to it. So I'm really curious to see what the mystery side of things is going to be. In terms of animation, I think it was pretty solid. I gotta say, when they first released those stills a few days ago, I was a little bit hesitant. It kind of had that sort of overly cartoonish, kind of cheaper, almost like Illumination films style to it, which I'm not a big fan of, but actually seeing it in action, I like it. It has a good balance of cartoonish qualities, but also that sort of realism. Not to like Pixar levels of realism, but it kind of reminds me of the animation in the Peanuts movie that came out a few years ago. And that was another case where just looking at pictures, I thought I was going to hate it, hate the style, but actually really enjoyed it in practice. And so character animation, I think, looks pretty solid. Fred definitely looks a little weird without his ascot on, but I guess I'm assuming that this is supposed to be set in kind of modern day, present day, so it'd be kind of weird to have a teenager walking around with an ascot on, but then again, they're driving around in the mystery machine, so that's pretty weird. So who knows, maybe we'll get a scene where he finally gets the ascot, or there's gonna be some dramatic, montage where they're all getting ready and he ties the ascot on. I don't know, one can only hope. In terms of voice acting, I think that looks or sounds pretty good as well. We don't get a ton of all of the Mystery Inc. gang as adults talking, at least in this trailer, but from what we do have, seems pretty solid. It's nice to see or hear Frank Welker reprise his role as Scooby-Doo. Seems like Scooby has a bit bigger of a vocabulary than normal. He's a little bit more eloquent, but it's fine with me. A little different, but fine. I think the only character that kind of stands out in a sort of negative way to me is Shaggy. And I guess I shouldn't really say negative because it still sounds fine. It just stands out. It seems very different to me. And I'm sure Will Forte is going to do fine with it. I'm sure once I'm watching the movie and it's a few minutes in, I'm not even going to notice the difference anymore. But for right now, he really stands out because Shaggy is either Casey Kasem or Matthew Lillard in my mind. And both of those actors had and have this kind of vocal inflection where they can kind of bring certain syllables up to a higher pitch, and it doesn't seem like Will Forte really has that capacity with his voice performance. You could say it's not his forte. And so I'm really impressed by this. I'm really actually genuinely surprised how much I like this. I wanted to like it, but I was kind of like, it's probably gonna be okay, but too much for kids. But I like the humor in it. I'm not a big comedy in the trailers kind of person, but this was pretty funny. That IKEA joke was really good. So I'm excited for this. I really want to see it. I am excited to go to the theater next year as an adult and watch a new Scooby-Doo animated movie. So that's just my take on the trailer, but what about you guys? Are you excited for another Scooby-Doo mystery on the big screen? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment or insight out of this reaction, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, and if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe while you're at it to see more videos like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies, the way life should be.